Welcome back. I am your host. I am attorney Stephen Leahy, and I am joined today on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer with my nephew, Jimmy Leahy.
Hey, I've come a long way from being called Jimmy there, Steve.
We talked about
Attorney Leahy.
Okay. I still call you Jimmy. I'm always going to call you.
Hi, I'm Jimmy.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, Mr. Know-It-All. The one segment where everybody's a winner and nobody is playing games.
I just want to make sure I have microphone 1 and you have microphone 2. I just want to make sure that was the case.
Okay, well, thanks, Attorney Leahy. So I have a question.
Oh, you have a question for me?
I have a question. I thought about it today.
What is your question?
And this came from awe of inspiration, but I have so let's say I'm being audited by the IRS.
You're being audited by the IRS.
Okay, don't broadcast. I'm not really, but
you said you were saying. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so let's say I'm getting audited by the IRS. I've done nothing wrong. I mean, does it really matter if I get a lawyer or not? Do I really need a lawyer? Do I really need somebody with me who has that kind of experience?
That's a very good question, because I think that's what most people think, right? Hey, I'm getting audited. You know, I'm going to go sit down with the guy, and he's going to look at my records. And
I didn't do anything wrong.
He might find a couple of little errors, and big deal, and I'll,
yeah, we'll fix it. I'll cut him a check right there,
and then fix it. Yeah, I'll be done. Actually, audits take a long time. And it's like, I guess it's like if the police knock on your door and say, hey, you want to come down to the station with me? We'd like to talk to you. You say, well, I haven't done anything wrong. I'll go down to the station with you. Well, guess what? They're coming to knock on your door. They don't think you're innocent. They're not asking you to come down because you didn't do anything wrong. They have a suspicion of you. And so if you would go down to the police station by yourself, I think you've made a grave error. And you should never do that. You should stop and say, wait a minute. I think I need to talk to an attorney and answer questions only after I speak with my attorney. And it's the same thing with the IRS, right? The IRS is coming. They're auditing you. They're saying, hey, we think you did something wrong. And you say, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just going to go down there and talk to them. Well, here's my advice. Don't do it. Don't go down there by yourself. Get some help. Again, attorneys, but you can get an auditor or a CPA or something like that. But my advice is to get a lawyer's office.
It's the difference between like $75,000 and
I did have a client this week that's being audited, and they felt that same way. Of course, I didn't do anything wrong,
or like $100,000 or whatever.
So the husband and the wife went down to the IRS, and they sat there for the first time for more than 4 hours. Well, while you're sitting in this chair, and this guy's at his desk looking up at you every couple of minutes.
One dog looking one way, one dog looking the other way, and this guy's saying, "What do you want from me?
What do you want from me?" And so anyway, so you sit there, and then they say, "Well, we'll get back to you," and then they don't get back to you, and then they invite you to come back down. Hey, come on back down, and then they do it all over again, another 5 hours where you sit there all day. This is the clients that I had this week that experienced this. And they find out that the IRS now says that they owe more than $70,000 in back taxes. They're just working people. How could I do that? Because the IRS guy didn't think that she would work for nothing. But that's what people who are running businesses sometimes work for nothing, because it takes time and effort to build a business. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you're building that business, you really don't make any money. You're lucky to get any money coming in. And when you get the money coming in, you're spending on marketing. You have licenses to pay for, and lawyer fees and accountants and all of these fees that come in just to run a business. And you have to make a lot of money just to make a profit. And this guy at the IRS was telling him, we don't think that you would, we're going to disallow all of these expenses, all legitimate expenses. But the IRS guy didn't think they were legitimate. Oh, how much? You don't have to market to these people. You don't have to give Christmas gifts away. It was like $125 in Christmas gifts that he's questioning. I mean, pay peanuts. But again, in the end, he told him, you owe $70,000. Pay up. And then they came to see me. And it's like, now they have another appointment with them. And so we called and said, they're not coming in. I'm not allowing them to sit down with him anymore. Don't do it. Get somebody else. If you hire a lawyer.
There is nothing more powerful than when you have that kind of guy who is experienced, an attorney.
I agree.
Who's sitting there and is able to talk to them and say, no, it's not happening.
And I want to get this in because the difference, I had mentioned the CPA and accountants and all that, and they go down there too. The difference is when you talk to an attorney, you have confidentiality. Right? You have attorney-client privilege. I don't have. They can't make me tell them what you told me. It's confidential. But when you're talking to a CPA, it isn't confidential. He's got to tell him what you told him. So you can't. You're going to be leery of being. You can't tell him everything. Mm-hmm. Not that you did anything wrong, because I said most people they didn't do anything wrong. Who thought that if I do my taxes, I try to do the right thing? They use TurboTax, and we already talked about that. They try to do the right thing, and then you're going to go. The IRS is going to totally destroy you, and that's what happens time after time after time. So you think you did nothing wrong? It doesn't matter. Get an attorney to help you, and I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All, because knowing me, I would have just gone in there because you do nothing wrong. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there are no brownie points with the legal system. There are no brownie points. You could feel like you're doing the right thing. It doesn't matter.
And sometimes when you answer, you're being honest and you answer the question, you just word it wrong. And that's what they're looking for. They hang their head on bad things. That's why you need help. That's why you call Opem Tax Resolutions when you have an IRS problem. And you call them to make an appointment at 312-664-6649.
Ladies and gentlemen, go online, chicagotaxteam.com. Stay tuned because after the commercial break, more IRS Radio Hour.